Our plan is to combine two powerful technologies, Midjourney version 5 and ChatGPT-4, to create something much more powerful. Imagine ChatGPT-4 as a wise wizard who has been studying for many years. We can ask this wizard to provide us with specific questions for different scenarios. To achieve this, we will train ChatGPT-4 in the art of prompt writing and refine its outputs. Then, we will examine how these prompts work in Midjourney and look for ways to improve this prompt writing wizard even more. Let's dive right in and harness the full potential of these technologies. To get started, we need to open up ChatGPT and start a new conversation and teach ChatGPT-4 to be our prompt writing wizard. To do this, I will tell ChatGPT-4 to act as a prompt engineer. Your job as the prompt engineer will be to create prompts for an AI art generator called Midjourney. I will give you short content ideas, and your job is to turn them into clear and complete prompts that make sense. So, I've given ChatGPT-4 a task to complete, and now I'm going to give it more information about what I want it to do. I'll explain what an AI art generator is, what a prompt is, and how I want ChatGPT-4 to format its response. Prompts are descriptions of images that include details about their content and style. It's important to be very clear about the nouns and adjectives we use in the prompts and to use references to popular artists and mediums. This helps prevent ChatGPT-4 from getting too carried away with flowery language that doesn't make sense. Instead, we want ChatGPT-4 to give us specific details, like if someone's eyes are focused on something in the distance instead of just staring off into space. Finally, I'll give ChatGPT-4 some examples of prompts to use. Please define the exact camera that should be used. It's important to use a specific lens that helps us achieve the precise aesthetic we're aiming for. I then went on to say, this is a formula to use. Content, add nouns here. Medium, add artistic medium here. Style, add preferences to genres, artists, and popular culture here. Lighting, reference the lighting here. Colors, reference the color styles and palettes here. Composition, reference the camera's specific lenses, shot types, and positional elements here. When we want to create a prompt, we need to be really precise about what we want. That's why we break it down into different parts like the content, style, and colors. By doing this, we can make sure that we use the right words to describe each part and get a lot of possibilities for our prompt. This means we have accurate language to describe what we want and can create a wide range of ideas. When you provide a prompt, don't use brackets or fancy language that might confuse people, and be clear and give lots of details. Always give two different prompt options for what they can write about. This will allow us to create multiple images in Midjourney and give us more flexibility to choose the best option or combine parts of both. I have provided an example prompt to guide the process. To get the most out of ChatGPT, it's important to give it lots of context and information. ChatGPT-4 can now handle up to 25,000 characters of contextual information. This means that we can give it a lot more information, which it can use to come up with its own original, intelligent responses. One interesting way that I saw ChatGPT-4 being used recently was to create a tutorial aimed at beginners by inputting the entire documentation of a coding language into ChatGPT-4 and asking it to output a more accessible version of that information. This is an example of how we can use advanced language and ask ChatGPT-4 to make it easier to understand. Now, let's take a look at the prompts that ChatGPT-4 has generated for us based on the information we gave it. The first one is, generate an illustration of a mystical forest with floating lanterns using digital painting. The mood should be serene and magical, inspired by the works of Hayao Miyazaki. So, Hayao Miyazaki is a world-famous Japanese animation director who is known for creating films such as Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, and many more. Miyazaki's style is a type of Japanese anime which is a 2D animation style. Miyazaki combines soft and painterly backgrounds with more simplified yet expressive characters. So I noticed that some of the prompts still had brackets, so I asked ChatGPT to rewrite them without those. Now this looks much better. After that, we can copy the prompt and paste it into Midjourney. And we're going to make sure that we're using version 5 for the algorithm by typing /settings version 5, then selecting version 5 right here. Then we will type /imagine, paste in our prompt that we copied, and then Midjourney will produce something pretty amazing for us. We can even do this for two different prompts at the same time, so we'll go ahead and do the same for our second prompt right now. So we asked ChatGPT for some ideas, but we can also ask it to do something we want. For example, I asked ChatGPT for a vintage poster of New York City in the 1970s. We're going to check back later to see what it finds. But first, let's go back to Midjourney and see what it's created from our original requests. So the first prompt we put in was an illustration of a mystical forest with floating lanterns using digital painting. The mood should be serene and magical, inspired by the works of Hayao Miyazaki. And it's created a pretty interesting concept piece here. Let's upscale a couple of these. Wow, so it did a brilliant job with the animation style and making it look magical and serene like it would in a Miyazaki film. And the second prompt I put in was a portrait of a modern artist with paintbrushes and a canvas using digital drawing. The mood should be contemporary and sophisticated with a pop art twist inspired by the works of Andy Warhol. For those who don't know, Andy Warhol was a very popular visual artist and was a leading figure in the pop art movement. These are just a few of his most famous pieces to give you an idea. Let's go back to the cool pictures we made that look like Andy Warhol's art. We're going to make a few of them bigger by upscaling them so we can see more detail. And you can see we've got this very distinctive pop art style of a modern artist with paintbrushes. I like it. But now we're going to look at the vintage posters of New York City that we asked ChatGPT for. We're going to make the posters taller than they are wide by changing the shape to AR 2x3. This means that for every 200 pixels of width, we'll have 300 pixels of height. We're going to do this with the second option as well and try it with the 2x3 ratio. While we wait, we're going to ask another one in ChatGPT. This time, we want to see street photography portraits in Los Angeles. The latest version of Midjourney, version 5, can create art that looks so realistic it's hard to tell if it's made by a computer or a real person. The AI is so advanced that even small details like hair are drawn very accurately. Wow, we just got some amazing vintage posters from Midjourney. They look so cool and would be perfect to decorate a home with. I also have a suggestion for anyone interested in starting a business. You could create posters that are specific to different locations and sell them on an Etsy shop that is really targeted to a specific location. This would work especially well for places that have a lot of rental properties like Airbnb. People who rent these places often like to decorate them with art that fits the location, and these posters would be perfect for that. I think it's a great opportunity to make money with beautiful art like this. Yeah, I really like these. The colors and the way the picture is put together are amazing. And I really like the difference we've got between the two options, with the first being slightly more saturated with these brighter colors and the second having a more edgy, melancholic vibe with darker colors. But there is one problem. The text on the poster doesn't look very good. Even in the newest version of Midjourney, the AI still struggles with making text look nice. However, there is a way to make the poster look better by using a free software called Figma to add your own text. It's really interesting that AI can create such detailed pictures of people and objects, but it still can't get text right. V5 has improved a lot and can now create art that looks almost like real photographs, but there are still some things it can't do, like remember specific things you create and use them in future artworks. For example, you could create a character and then not be able to reuse the same character in the future. The same is true with objects and locations. That's something we might see in the future though. So now let's go back to ChatGPT and copy the first prompt for our street photography request and input it into Midjourney. Then let's do the same with our second prompt. Wow, these are absolutely incredible. You can see how good the quality is here. Now another thing we can do is we can ask it to come up with its own ideas, not just make things we tell it to. For example, we can ask it to make 5 different artworks with 2 that look real and 1 with a beautiful woman. Then we can see what it comes up with. So here are the images that it gave us. People all over the world use Midjourney to make amazing artworks. It's fun to look at what they've made and get inspired. We can combine different tools like Midjourney and ChatGPT to make even more creative things. It's really cool to see what we can make when we use our imagination and these awesome tools. Now that you know how to combine these 2 tools to create incredible art, click this video here to learn about the one ChatGPT prompt to rule them all.